What if I told you that every major economic crash in American history wasn't just a random fluke, but a calculated move? What if the Great Depression, the 2008 meltdown, and even the inflation crisis you're living through right now were all part of a larger plan? A plan orchestrated by a hidden elite, operating behind closed doors, completely beyond the reach of democracy. This isn't just fiction. It's not a fringe theory. It's a clear, observable pattern, one that began over a century ago and continues to shape your financial reality to this very day. Welcome to the untold truth about America's elite banking cartel, the real puppet masters of recession, inflation, and economic collapse. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will fundamentally change how you see every single dollar in your pocket. Our story begins not in Washington, D.C., but on a secluded island off the coast of Georgia. The year is 1910. The place is Jekyll Island. A secret meeting was held, attended by some of the wealthiest and most powerful bankers in the world, representatives of J.P. Morgan, Paul Warburg, and other titans of finance. Their clandestine mission? To draft a blueprint for a central banking system that would give a small group of private elites unprecedented control over the U.S. money supply. Just 3 years later, in 1913, their plan was born. The Federal Reserve Act was signed into law. It was sold to the American public as a stabilizing force for the economy, a way to prevent future financial panics. But in reality, it created a privately controlled institution with nearly unchecked power over interest rates, the creation of money, and the flow of credit throughout the entire nation. It was a monumental shift of power from the people to a select few. Since the Fed's creation, American history has been marked by a predictable and devastating pattern: boom, bust, and bailout. Think about it. Every major recession, the Roaring '20s leading to the Great Depression of 1929, the stagflation of 1973, the dot-com bubble of 2000, and the Great Financial Crisis of 2008, follows the exact same script. First comes the boom, fueled by loose credit and low interest rates set by the Fed. Money is cheap, so everyone borrows, businesses expand, people buy homes and cars, and the stock market soars. Asset bubbles inflate to massive proportions. Then, suddenly, the Fed tightens the screws. They raise interest rates, and the flow of easy money stops. The bubble bursts, the economy crashes, and chaos ensues. And who always benefits from this chaos? The very same big banks that helped create the bubble in the first place. While Main Street burns, with millions of people losing their jobs, their savings, and their homes, Wall Street gets a bailout. Just look at 2008. Millions of ordinary Americans lost their homes to foreclosure. Their life savings were wiped out. But Wall Street, they got a $1 trillion rescue package, funded by your tax dollars. The same Federal Reserve that helped inflate the housing bubble with artificially low rates suddenly positioned itself as the savior of the system. They started printing trillions of dollars and slashed rates back to zero to save the economy. But you have to ask yourself, save it for who? Here's the critical piece of the puzzle that most people never see. The Federal Reserve isn't a government agency. It's not federal, and it has no reserves in the way you might think. It's a private banking consortium, a cartel. The central bank that controls the U.S. dollar, the world's reserve currency, is not fully accountable to the American people or even to Congress. So, who are its shareholders? The very same private member banks it's supposed to regulate. It's the ultimate conflict of interest. It's like putting the fox in charge of guarding the henhouse, and then giving the fox the keys to the chicken feed. This unique structure allows these elite financial institutions to operate in ways that would be impossible for anyone else. They can influence interest rates for their own benefit, creating booms they can ride all the way up. They can inflate massive asset price bubbles and then, with insider knowledge of when the policy will shift, short the market right before the crash. And when everything comes tumbling down, they get exclusive access to emergency funds and zero-interest loans. Meanwhile, you're working harder just to afford groceries and gas, feeling the squeeze of inflation. They are manipulating entire markets with privileged access, and virtually zero public oversight. This isn't the free market capitalism we're taught about in school. This is cartel economics. So let's break down exactly how this system works. The Federal Reserve has two main levers it pulls to control the economy: interest rates and the money supply. By lowering interest rates, it makes borrowing cheap and easy. This encourages debt and speculation, which inflates those bubbles in housing, stocks, and consumer credit. We all feel richer, even though the foundation is built on sand. Then, when inflation starts to get out of control, or more cynically, when the elite decide it's the right time to cash in, they slam on the brakes. They aggressively hike interest rates, making credit expensive. The economy stalls, businesses fail, people are laid off, and asset prices collapse. During this fire sale, those who are in the know and flush with cash can buy up valuable assets, real estate, stocks, entire companies for pennies on the dollar. It's a rinse and repeat cycle of wealth transfer: inflate, crash, consolidate. Over the last 100 years, this method has systematically transferred a staggering amount of wealth from the middle class to the top-tier banking elite. And the engine that powers this entire machine is fiat currency money that is backed by a tangible asset like gold. This gives the central bank the power to print money endlessly, out of thin air. Every new dollar they create dilutes the value of the dollars in your savings account. It's a hidden tax called inflation. This process enriches those closest to the money printer, the government, and the big banks, while impoverishing everyone else. This is a form of monetary warfare, and your wealth is the target. So now you know. Every recession, every market collapse, every bailout, it's not just bad luck or a failure of the system. It is the system. It is a system designed from the very beginning to concentrate wealth and power into the hands of a few. The elite banking cartel doesn't just influence the U.S. economy for all practical purposes. It is the U.S. economy. And until we, the people, break free from this centralized grip, the cycle will inevitably continue. There will be more booms, more devastating busts, and more suffering for the average person. The rich will get richer, and the gap between the haves and the have-nots will grow even wider. So what can you do? It starts with knowledge. Start by spreading the truth. Share this video with everyone you know. Educate yourself and others on how money really works, not how they tell you it works. We need to demand transparency and accountability from these institutions. We need to support financial innovation and decentralization that puts power back into the hands of individuals. Never forget, knowledge is your first and most powerful defense against manipulation. If you found this information eye-opening, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We are just getting started exposing the hidden financial architecture that controls your life. This is the war for your wallet, and the elite are counting on you not to fight back. Join us in this fight before the next collapse hits.